13 hours in a car with mom. I can do that. It'll be fun. It was about a year since my dad passed away, and I was moving my mom in with me from Idaho Falls, driving her from Idaho Falls all the way down to Santa Fe, New Mexico. She was becoming a little bit forgetful, and ever since her cat Jojo died, she was feeling a little bit alone. On that long car ride, mom was a little loopy, and she asked me the same questions a bunch of times. And I mean over and over and over and over and over and over again. I was beginning to wonder if I bit off more than I could chew. A month later, she was diagnosed with dementia. And after that diagnosis, I suffered a lot. The first 6 months were brutal. Mom had dementia, and I was clueless on autopilot, reacting to everything. That was until the day my friend Maggie was there to hear me reacting to my mom again and having to answer one of her questions again. Hey, Rick, come here for a minute. So I went out of the room with her. Your mom has dementia. I know. But Maggie was calm. Well, if you're going to get mad at her for forgetting, you're going to be mad at her for a very long time until she dies. And those words really hit me. It was the first time I remember being present to my emotions and how frustrated I was. Mom was just doing what she was doing with dementia, and I was reacting to her forgetting. That day, a new part of our journey started. Yes, Mom still had dementia. And yes, she was going to continue to forget things. But Maggie had nudged me off of autopilot, and I was present to my emotions and my reactions and my stuff. I was beginning to see that the only control I had was over here. And being present to my emotions was the first step in helping me deal with them. Mom had dementia. For some people, dealing with dementia is a guaranteed sentence of decline, suffering, and even devastation. But for me, it turned into a journey in practicing being present, practicing allowing myself to experience all of my emotions, and practicing maintaining connection, even if the connection as I knew it faded over time. I'm a photographer, and during our journey together, I wanted to document things visually. There was only one issue with that. Mom always hated having her photo taken. Most of the pictures in my photo albums look a little bit like this. But an interesting thing happened as her dementia progressed. Mom began to forget that she hated having her photos taken. It was a slow start. But little by little, she didn't mind. And as her memory faded, it didn't bother her. We became more present with each other, and it didn't bother her having the camera around. Some of my favorite photos of my mom are during that time that she forgot that she hated having her photo taken. A few years into the journey, everything was flowing smoothly. My mom's caregiving needs increased, and that was okay. We moved her into her own apartment at a care facility, and that was working out. Mom seemed content. But for me, I started to notice this background hum, like a hum of irritation or anger, and I just couldn't figure it out. But thanks to that nudge from Maggie, I knew that I could get through any emotion if I just allowed it and explored it. So I dwelled in it for a while. I'm pissy. What's that about? And I thought about it, and I talked about it. And in dwelling it, a thought came to me. Mom, as I know her, is not here right now, and she's not coming back. And that pisses me off. Now, Mom was there, mostly, but not Mom like I thought should be there. Mom should be more mobile and social like she used to be. Mom should remember and have more clarity and laugh like she used to. That Mom, as I remembered her, should be there, and she wasn't. And that was it. That was the source of my anger. So I repeated that thought to myself several times. Mom, as I know her, is not here right now, and she's not coming back. Mom, as I know her, is not here right now, and she's not coming back. I became more and more present to my anger about how Mom should be, and that Mom being gone. And in being with that anger, another thought came to me. Well, if Mom's not here, then who is? And from that day on, that question led me to a new practice, the practice of discovering who Mom was today, and today, and today. I no longer tried to make old Mom come back. I just enjoyed getting to discover who my mom, Miss Jenny as I called her, who she was every day. What capacities did she still have? What kind of clarity was there today? Not what wasn't there, what was. By allowing myself to be in that anger, it opened up the possibility of connecting to who my mom was every day. Now, does it mean I put a happy sticker on my mom's decline? No way. But in accepting it, I got to discover who Miss Jenny was. And I got to discover the joy in every visit. Now, not all of our caregiving circumstances are going to be the same, but one thing's for sure, all of our emotions are going to be there, like sadness. I remember the first time letting that emotion in. It was when my brother Scott came to visit. Scott's 3 years older than me. That's me and my brother when we were younger, tormenting my mom with love. Scott was a great lighthearted support for me during those years with my mom. Whenever I needed to talk, he was always there. And he hadn't seen Mom in a while. And when he showed up, Mom didn't recognize him. Still there. Seeing my big bro, brokenhearted and emotional, really got to me. And there was nothing else to do but be sad. So I hugged him, and I just let my tears flow, because I really love that guy. A year later, Mom forgot me. And I laughed. Believe it or not, I laughed. I was visiting my mom, and the attendants were just about to wheel her off to dinner. So I leaned down to give her a kiss goodbye, and she jerked away and just looked at me. And her face said it all. Who is this crazy guy trying to kiss me? And I laughed. I was like, you don't recognize me, do you? And she just shook her head. I was like, well, I'm your son, Rick. Don't worry. I'll remind you. And then I picked up a picture of my brother's family. I was like, do you recognize any of these people? And again, she shook her head a little bit confused. I was like, well, that's your older son, Scott. Older son, cuter son. Older son, cuter son. And she smiled and chuckled a little bit, and all was well again. And I knew this day would come, and I was okay. And on that drive home that night, I realized something. I don't have to remind my mom that I'm her son anymore. It's either going to upset her that she forgot she had a son, or it's going to upset her that this strange guy keeps saying he's her son. So from that day forward, I just became the crazy guy who would come in and be like, "Hi, Miss Jenny, I'm Rick, I'm here to clean the kitty litter." And I would go over and I would clean the kitty litter, and then I would sit on the couch with her for a couple hours and just tease her incessantly until she smiled. I believe in experiencing the sadness with my brother's situation freed me up to find the humor when it was my turn, because mom forgetting me was kind of the next logical step in the process. And who knew a 13-hour car ride would turn into 6 years of discovery? And during our 6-year journey together, my mom gave me plenty of opportunities for growth, like experiencing and expressing all of my emotions instead of holding them back or stuffing them down. Do you do that? Take a look. Where do you hide your emotions? Where do you buck up and put on a strong face? Where are you on autopilot reacting to everything that's out there when our biggest influence is right here? The biggest gift my mom gave me was the opportunity to be present and explore and express all of my emotions. And in doing so, I discovered joy. And if I can discover joy in the process of dementia, if we can discover joy in the process of dementia, then where else can we discover it in life?
Nancy Bose, Vero